Hello and welcome to Sentinel One Presents Cyber Superheroes, unveiling the unsung heroes of security in association with ETCISO. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar and we're joining you from this gorgeous location in Vizag. Now, in this interconnected world that we live in, security is not just restricted to the physical world. Like our armed forces who are protecting us on our national borders, we need security for our digital realm as well. And that's where we get the role of the CISOs, or the Chief Information Security Officers, who in fact dom this role of the silent sentinels to safeguard their organizations and their companies. So what really is their strategy to safeguard their companies from this cyber threat or organized crime? That's exactly what we're going to find out. And in fact, we have one such CISO joining us today. We have with us Mr. Yogesh Suryawanshi, the CISO at Kirloskar Brothers. Yogesh, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us. And I hope you have your appetite because we're in this fabulous restaurant. So here's hoping that we'll have good conversations and good food.
Absolutely. I'm enjoying the atmosphere as well as the event here. Thank you so much for having me here.
So, Yogesh, when we introduced the segment, we said that you are the superheroes, right? Like our armed forces protect our borders, CISOs protect the organizations against cyber threats or whatever kind of challenges that the organizations might see. So let's begin from that, right? Talk to me growing up, or even today when you work, is there a superhero that you look up to, who is, either you have some inspiration that you use in your work, day-to-day workings? Talk to us about where do you get your superhero inspiration from?
When it comes to superhero, in fact, there are many, as you said, heroes coming from armed forces, heroes coming from our, a lot of, histories, right? Modern days, right, when I look at it, right, maybe there was a movie called Robot, right?
Yeah.
Chitty.
Yeah.
Right, so I relate the character of Chitty to the cyber world because Chitty was a kind of character who was always learning, having intelligence, and using the best breed of technologies to protect the nuisance around him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's inspiration in the cyber world. Probably me and my team is taking up yes, we should always learn. Okay, because nowadays cyber threats are evolving like anything, right? It's not only threats, but the most concern is the tactics being used by attackers, right? And to eliminate those tactics, you have to have on learning path. You should navigate through new paths, right? So that's what.
Yeah. Because we're speaking about superheroes, how can we not talk about the superhero powers, right? So when you speak about a superhero, is there a specific superhero power that you look up to or that you would want to use in your day-to-day working, especially as far as the manufacturing sector is concerned?
Yes. So when it comes to power, right, having right strategy is very important.
Yeah.
So that's a superpower. Every leader should have a strategic mindset and the commitment to deploy that particular cybersecurity strategy is very important, because if you don't have a strategy in place, probably going with our operational mindset here and there, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
So that's the power which I think everybody should have.
But is that your superhero power that you use in your role as a CISO?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Yogesh, moving on from superhero powers and qualities, I want to talk to you specifically from a sector perspective, right? The manufacturing sector, like any other sector, is susceptible, to a lot of threats, and we've seen that in a lot of recent developments that have happened and events that have happened, right? If I had to ask you about 2 to 3 most pressing challenges in the manufacturing sector today, as far as a threat perception is concerned, what would those be?
Yeah. So the first well-known challenge is, you have legacy systems.
Yeah.
Those are not designed to protect from the modern cyber threats. Everybody wishes to have a best of technologies to protect them.
Yeah.
But integration of those technologies
Yeah.
with this, legacy sets of, tools or, systems is something which is challenging.
Okay.
Another a challenge is there probably as compared to IT service industry, right? When it comes to manufacturing, obviously the in-house skill IT skill and the cybersecurity skill. That's another challenge. Third challenge, which I would say, like we have a lot of partners where they can come, they can tell you like you have X problem, you have X vulnerability, Y vulnerability.
Yeah.
But when it comes to on ground reality, fixing those vulnerabilities, right? So that's also another challenge, because you have legacy systems which is mission criticals.
Absolutely.
Those are operating,
Yeah.
right? And then fixing your vulnerabilities on top of that.
Yeah.
That's a biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And I think everybody in the industry, they are navigating through this challenge.
Yeah. I want to understand from a CISO perspective, how critical is the role of a CISO?
CISO's role is very critical. Okay, one is obviously from security standpoint,
Yeah.
right? You have to protect a business or company or your society from modern cyber threats. Your employees, you have to ensure like they are aware about cyber threats. Especially nowadays everybody is using smartphones. They get a lot of WhatsApp messages,
Yeah.
phishing messages, phishing calls. So awareness that side from their personal aspects. Most important is the balancing between the security as well as business needs.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we are here because of business.
Absolutely.
If there is no business, you can't survive, right? So you have to balance it in such a way that you enable and empower business
Yeah.
to run and to stand on the resilient infrastructure.
Yeah. Because you're speaking about the kind of core qualities that you would see, I want to understand now about your partnership, one would call it, with SentinelOne as well, right? When you go out in the market, you have a lot of vendors, the options are many for you. Why SentinelOne? What made SentinelOne stand out that you thought that this aligns with your core values and ethics that you would want to follow?
So, every CISO, right, or in any CIO or leadership, right, they wanted to ensure one thing, that are we doing enough to protect our organization?
Correct.
Okay, how are we going to defend?
Yeah.
And here, time plays a more important role. And legacy, solutions, right, we used to get to know once after the breach happened, once after the system gets compromised. But here, after a SentinelOne partnership, what we have realized on scene, like, the threats are being detected and in fact getting protected on real time. Right? So in legacy systems, you used to get to know on the consoles after 4-5 hours.
Correct.
But now here, maximum 2 or 3 minutes, I'm getting alerts. Right? So my protection capabilities are enhanced.
Yeah.
Okay, detection capabilities are enhanced. As well as most important is the response.
Yeah.
Right. On top of that, it is giving me a very detailed level visibility on the what's happening on the system. It's not only the high level activity, but on the process level and sub process level.
Yeah.
Apart from security, it also helps me a lot of in my business decisions as well, like what's happening in the on those machines, right? Then the tool. Another the benefit which I see, which yet to practice, but I'm telling a lot of my colleagues, like SentinelOne gives you the threat view, okay, and it also gives you the view of the MITRE attack, like in which stages you're getting a lot of incidents.
Yeah.
So that can help you out to have informed decision to focus on that particular area where you're getting a lot of incidences.
Yeah.
So a lot of benefits, and having good partnership. We are learning, they're also learning, feedbacks we're getting exchanged. So
Perfect.
good.
That's how a healthy relationship and a partnership should be, right?
Exactly.
I also want to understand, ever since you got the SentinelOne solutions, as far as your day-to-day operations are concerned, what are the kind of changes or improvements that you see?
Yeah. So best change which I see, early detection and protection.
Okay.
That's very simple, because earlier, right, people used to run here and there and to look at what has happened from where and like that.
Correct.
Right? But now once we have an incident happen, the vigilance team comes in a picture. Probably in couple of hours you get to know the source, and you are in a full-fledged of response plan.
Correct.
So that's a real benefit, and I think that benefit is coming from their AI/ML capabilities, right? And they have a huge data set. I believe like they have very good trained model as well,
Correct.
right? So I think that's a USP what SentinelOne has.
Lovely. Yogesh, we have a very special segment now, which is a rapid fire segment,
Okay.
right? So I'll be asking you questions, which means you have to be rapid and fast.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go. Our first question is, what has been the most surprising challenge in your cybersecurity career?
Surprising challenge, breach,
Yeah,
always
it's unexpected, right?
unexpected issues in breach.
So which technology or skill would you master instantly for better security?
I would say incident response and the forensic analysis. That's
Lovely.
very important because attacks are going to happen.
Absolutely.
You can't stop.
Yeah,
But how you respond to it, that's very important.
yeah. Lovely. How do you juggle short-term security with long-term goals?
That's very difficult to answer. But yeah, in short-term security also you have to have a strategic view in mind. Okay, your team should be aligned with your long-term goals
Yeah.
so that they can slice and dice and they can also put that that your strategic aspects in your short-term decisions.
Lovely. Also, I want to know what non-work experience shaped your view on risk management?
Non-work experience. Yeah, real life examples, right? So wherever you go for a trip, you go outside, right? You always plan better, right? And you also always look for plan A, plan B, and plan C.
Yeah.
That's how risk management is.
Lovely. Which book, podcast, or research outside of cybersecurity has had some sort of impact on your life?
Okay. So I have a huge impact from Maratha history, and there is a book called Chava, okay, which is written on Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj.
Oh, lovely.
So that has huge impact on my character building myself as well as protecting people around us.
Lovely. I want to understand what is the secret in maintaining a healthy work-life balance?
Secret is like having a healthy lifestyle, especially putting out time for yourself.
Correct.
Obviously family is important, but for your well-being, having some sort of physical activities.
Yeah.
That's really important. Okay, reading is another way,
Yeah.
okay, which is really important.
And lastly, Yogesh, I have to ask you this. If you had to give some sort of advice to a younger Yogesh on life as well as work, what would that be?
Okay, so my advice would be, whatever comes on your way, do it your best.
Lovely.
That's it.
Lovely. Is that your life motto as well now?
Yep.
Lovely. This has been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much.
taking out the time and joining us. And we hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did.
Thank you so much.